Welcome to Caral Soup, the oldest city in America. Nearly 5,000 years ago, along the dry coastal valleys of what is now Peru, one of the world's earliest civilizations quietly emerged. Long before the rise of the Maya, the Aztec, or the Inca, the people of Caral were building cities. This civilization developed around 3000 BCE along several river valleys north of modern-day Lima, Peru. In a landscape of deserts cut by narrow ribbons of fertile land, early communities learned to work together, transforming the harsh environment into thriving centers of human activity. At the heart of this civilization stood one of the oldest cities in the Americas, Caral. Caral was already flourishing around 2600 BCE, at roughly the same time that the pyramids of Egypt were being built and the great cities of Mesopotamia were rising. But unlike those civilizations across the ocean, Caral developed entirely independently. The city was carefully planned and organized. Massive platform pyramids rose above open plazas, creating monumental ceremonial centers where people gathered for rituals, celebrations, and governance. Some of these structures stood over 60 feet tall, built from carefully stacked stone and earth. At the center of several complexes were sunken circular plazas, architectural spaces designed for communal gatherings. These plazas suggest a society that valued shared ritual and collective participation. Archaeologists believe that music and ceremony played an important role in their culture. Evidence of this comes from the discovery of flutes made from the bones of pelicans and condors. Despite its impressive architecture, the Caral Soup civilization appears remarkably peaceful. Unlike many ancient societies, there is little evidence of warfare. Archaeologists have found no defensive walls, no weapons, and few signs of violent conflict. Instead, the culture seems to have been held together through religion, cooperation, and economic exchange. The economy of Caral Soup depended on a unique partnership between coastal fishing communities and inland farmers. Along the Pacific coast, people harvested vast quantities of fish, anchovies, and shellfish. Meanwhile, farmers living in the river valleys cultivated crops such as squash, beans, chili peppers, and gourds. One of their most important crops was cotton. Cotton was not primarily used for clothing, but for making fishing nets, a crucial tool that allowed coastal communities to catch enormous amounts of seafood. This created an interdependent system. Farmers grew cotton for fishing nets, while fishermen supplied protein-rich food to inland communities. Through trade and cooperation, these communities formed a stable economic network that supported large populations. Archaeologists have identified more than 30 major settlements belonging to the Caral Soup civilization. These cities were connected through shared architecture, trade, and cultural traditions, forming one of the earliest known urban networks in the world. Another intriguing aspect of this civilization is its lack of pottery. Most early civilizations developed ceramics early in their history, but Caral Soup appears to have thrived largely without it. Instead, people relied on woven containers, gourds, and textiles. Even without writing systems like those of Mesopotamia or Egypt, the Caral Soup people likely used early recording methods. Archaeologists have discovered objects resembling quipu, knotted cords later used by the Inca to record information. These may represent an early form of data recording or communication. For nearly 1,000 years, the cities of Caral prospered. Monumental construction projects continued, communities expanded, and ceremonial traditions flourished. But around 1800 BCE, the civilization began to decline. The reasons are still debated. Some scholars believe that climate changes, shifts in river patterns, or powerful El Nino events may have disrupted agriculture and coastal fishing. Gradually, the great ceremonial centers were abandoned and the cities fell silent. Yet the legacy of Caral did not disappear. The traditions of organized society, monumental architecture, and complex trade networks laid important foundations for later civilizations that would arise across the Andes. Thousands of years later, cultures such as the Moche civilization, Chavin civilization, and eventually the powerful Inca civilization would build upon the deep cultural roots established by these early people. Their story reminds us that the history of civilization is far broader and older than many once believed.